I've been saying I need to get a new chair for literal years. I really do need to get a new chair. That tea is really not great either. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I asked on my Instagram stories this morning for questions that some of my followers might like to ask me, and usually I would do the answers on Instagram, but I don't know if it's just me. When I'm speaking on Instagram, and I do like to speak to the camera, I feel under ferocious pressure to like speak quickly, get it out quickly, because in my head everyone's in a super rush and they want the answer like bam, 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 now. Whereas on YouTube, I feel like I have more scope to ramble and get my thoughts out in a more cohesive manner, maybe. Less people watch my YouTube videos than my Instagram stories by a long shot, but I feel like if anyone is truly interested, they can come and watch this. And I'm going to do it in a kind of a format whereby you can just leave this play. You don't need to look at me, hence why I don't look particularly glam or anything today. You can just leave this play and treat it like a podcast style thing. So yeah, I'm going to dive in. I've already had a little peek at some of the questions, and my god, some of them are hard hitting already. Amanda asks, are you happy / content? Wow, in there with the big ones straight off the bat. This is going to be a multifaceted answer to a pretty wide question. At the moment, I would say I'm about 70% happy if I had to give myself a grade of happiness. I feel like everyone is a bit rocky at the moment with regard to COVID, and we're kind of starting to reopen things now, and mental health has definitely been testy for a lot of people. I discussed this with my counsellor at a recent session actually, and I was explaining to her how when everyone else was kind of panicking about COVID, I managed to maintain a really level-headed composure. I was really grateful for the gifts I had in my life with regard to job, family, health, all that sort of stuff. And I explained that to her, and that suddenly when things were kind of starting to settle down, then I started to feel a shift whereby I was starting to feel the panic then. And she explained that a lot of people have been living on adrenaline, and you can only live for so long before your brain / body goes, enough. And she reckons that's what happened to me. Aside from COVID, and I know we're all sick to death of hearing and talking about it, I had been like ecstatically happy up until about mid last year. Things have been going so well for me. I had so many amazing opportunities. I was literally feeling so, and I know this is going to wash over some people, but aligned with the universe, whereby I felt everything was just perfectly in place. I couldn't imagine ever being any happier, but there was always that niggle at the back of my mind that, you know, this might not last forever. And a series of really minor events last year, but a lot of them caused me to feel out of alignment with the universe. And that's kind of lasted up until, well, COVID, and then obviously every single one of us were flung from the ship. But I feel like I'm getting back to alignment now. And I know alignment has such a woo-woo connotation, but I feel like it's the best all-encompassing word I can use to describe how I felt, how I'm feeling, and how I'm trying to get back to. Yeah, it was just a mixture of like injuries, disappointment in my own actions, causing me to question myself, not my self-worth, my sense of self, as my counsellor calls it. I was very strong in my sense of self for a very long time, and then some behaviours that I took part in made me question that. I've been journaling a lot, and flicking back through my journaling over the last year or so, I'm kind of like, whoa, I can't believe I wrote that, but that is the magic of journaling, I guess. So that was a really long-winded answer. I'm about 70% happy. I've been happier for sure, but I've been a lot less happy as well at times. So I'm content with where I am. I hope you're keeping well too. Does that make sense to anyone? Let me know in the comment section down below if this is resonating with you, or maybe it's just me. How are you always so full of energy? Siobhan asks. I can assure you, Siobhan, I am not always full of energy. In fact, I was only thinking yesterday, looking at people on social media, and I know we all know social media is a big farce, I wonder how people do it. I'm the kind of gal who needs her 8 hours sleep every single night, but yet I see people talking about getting 4 and 5 hours a night. These are parents with children with full-time jobs and who do social media. I'm kind of wondering, I kind of struggle to juggle everything in my life. How do they do it with those extra pressures? I just don't understand it. If you have a secret, do people have time machines where they get an extra few hours in the day? Because I would be interested in signing up to that subscription for sure. How are you always so full of energy? I think maybe I give an illusion, not purposely, that I do an awful lot. But again, you're only seeing maybe between 15 and 20 slides on Instagram stories from my day. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I didn't know I came across that I was so full of energy, but there we are. I'm chuffed with that, but I can assure you I'm not always full of energy. Any experience with CBD oil? I'm researching it for pain and skin, and I really value your opinion, Madeline asks. Hi Madeline, no, unfortunately I have no experience with CBD. It's not anything I've felt like I've needed or could help me, and I'm also quite wary of snake oil, and there's so many brands out there and some of them are really not reputable, and I don't feel like I need enough that I should do all the homework to research a good reputable brand with good ingredients. So I'm really sorry I couldn't help you more there, Madeline. Where is your mask from? This mask, I'll put a picture in here. I just bought it on Etsy. It definitely wasn't cheap. I think it's about €18. But I really like it. I like the marble effect. It looks cool. What lash serum are you using? Okay, if you're looking at my lashes now and realizing they look kind of good. For the last 6.5 weeks, I've been using a lash serum, and I don't want to share it just yet because I want to see long term how I go. I shared a lash serum before and then the formula changed and people were finding it wasn't working and I'd recommended it, and I want to be 100% certain before I recommend it, but I will be sharing it on here and on Instagram when I have my thoughts fully composed regarding it. Would you ever like to move country, and if so, where? Ooh, no, I think I'm pretty happy with Ireland. I like that I can take, well, in a usual year I can take 4 or 5 trips abroad and use Ireland as my base. I think we have it pretty good here. I like being Irish, I like our country, it's beautiful. I mean, would I like a little bit more sun? Yeah, but I'm not really a sun worshipper, so I'm okay with the cold weather. My perfect day is sunny, cold and dry. Lisa asks, have you tried the polished strips some influencers are using? Would like an honest opinion. I have not. I do have them on my list to purchase when I run out of my current teeth whitening products. So I will definitely be doing a review for YouTube if and when I purchase them. Ellen asks, what yoga mat would you recommend? Absolutely the Manduka. I got a Manduka one for Christmas a couple of years ago from my mum. Well, I sent her the link and I said, hey, can I have this for Christmas? I got the really thin travel one because I like using the same mat. I don't like using borrowed mats when I'm in different yoga studios, and as well now with COVID you have to bring your own mat. So it is very, very thin. If you have sensitive knees or wrists and hands, it might not be great, but I really like the Manduka ones. Now the only thing I will say is the one I have is made from reclaimed rubber and it marks itself as like eco-friendly, but I've done a little bit more research and I think that might be a little bit greenwashy. I don't think they're as ethical as they let on to be, so bear that in mind. And my mat, I got it on sale in the sale section on the website for €35, so not too bad. Emma asks, are you a creative person and what would your dream life look like? Wow. I would have always said I'm not a creative person. However, I really get in the flow state of mind when I'm editing my YouTube videos. Even though I'm definitely not amazing at editing, I just do cuts and sometimes I'll do fancy little zoom ins like the one you're seeing right here. And I really enjoy it. And lately I've been enjoying kind of taking more interesting Instagram photos. I feel like if I had more free time, I could definitely exercise my creativity and the creative side of my brain a little bit more. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a creative person, but I definitely am exploring my creative side more lately. Talk about a non-answer there, Laura. What would my dream life look like? So my dream life, oh, this is so like cringy cliche, but I actually got a shiver up my right quad there even thinking about it. I would love to volunteer in an elephant sanctuary. I know that's so random, but that would be my dream. I was only telling Amanda from Recalibrated Bodies the other day that would be my dream job. Obviously it would not be the most lucrative, being I would not be paid as a volunteer. But if we're going dream, I'd love to own a non-profit elephant sanctuary. You asked! Neve asks, I'm vegan for a year and in two minds about items I owned before with leather. What are your thoughts? I still have some leather items. I would rather use them till they're done rather than just dump them because the damage has been done, if you will. So I would say use them up until they're like not usable anymore, and then maybe consider making more ethical purchases. But then the flip side of that is vegan leather, which is more often made from polyurethane than anything else. That's not very environmentally friendly either. It's one of those things you kind of have to make a judgment call for yourself, to be honest. I've bought a lot of polyurethane stuff, but similarly, I will use them till they die. I don't treat them as disposable items. Actually, I'll show you an example. I bought this little backpack from ASOS in 2016 or 2017, I think. So that's 4 years ago. Polyurethane, it was marketed as vegan leather. Look, essentially it's plastic and it's only now starting to kind of fall apart. You can obviously see there. Honestly, it looks really bad. So I'll probably just throw this in the boot of my car that I can use on like hikes or something. But for like general everyday wear, I'm probably going to stop using this. But that's just an example. I've worn it to absolute death. I would say probably 80% of the time I've used this as my handbag for the last 4 years. So that's just kind of one example. Have you tried Pit Putty natural deodorant? I have. I tried their old formula and I found it worked really well. That was the non-vegan formula. Then they changed it to vegan and it didn't work as well for me, unfortunately. Look, I am the natural deodorant queen. I've like so many of them here that I'm trying to use. Maybe my pits are just more potent than other people's pits, but I find most of them don't work that well for me, unfortunately. Advice for someone stuck in a job they're miserable in and toying with university at the age of 26, Amy asks. I'm 34 and I'm still kind of toying with the idea of maybe going back to school. You're never ever too old. Don't even think that 26 is a big deal. I know people who are in their 40s who've gone back to school. I think you need to box smart though. Too many influencers seem to be kind of blasé about encouraging their followers. Just follow your dream, quit that job, leave that office. First of all, some people are really happy in an office role, so I feel like some undertones are implying that office jobs are subpar and how could you ever be happy in that? And I think that's fucking bullshit. I also feel like working for the man is not necessarily a bad thing either. I love the fact that I go into my job, I drive home from my job and that's it. I don't have responsibility for being a boss. Entrepreneurship is hailed as being the goal for all of life and I don't necessarily agree. It's not something I want to do and I don't think it's something that should be necessarily glorified as the be all and end all goal of everyone's life. Oh my god, it's 9 o'clock. It's breakfast time. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for your questions. I'll delete the question box now. Ooh. So that is all for today. If there are any other questions you'd like to ask, definitely feel free to pop them in the comment section down below. I might do another one in future. Thank you so much for watching and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.